Right-hander deals to the right-handed batter, laces one to left field, diving in, can't make the catch. Volpe, as this one rolls all the way into the wall. Rounding third and heading home is DeMartini, and in with a triple is Taven Kelly. Taven Kelly with his 13th career triple now goes into second all-time in Penn State history after he was tied with Michael Campo and Jordan Steranka in that category. What a milestone for Taven Kelly. 2-2, big cut and a miss for strike number 3. Horwat gets out of the bases-loaded jam, and Rutgers is left with no runs on the board despite the productivity here in the top of the 6th inning. 1-2 is sent down the middle past the second base bag and out into center field for a hit. That's Matt Maloney's 3rd hit of the ball game, all singles, and Penn State's bats have come alive here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Back with more Big Ten baseball, bottom half of the 6th inning. Rutgers holds a 4-3 lead over the Penn State Nittany Lions. I'm Jake Irwin, joined alongside my partner Casey Kreider. We thank you for making us a part of your Friday evening. Lights in full effect here on the field at Medler Field. Completely dark out now. And looking at the stakes here for both teams, Rutgers looking to win their first Big Ten series since April 12th through the 14th versus Nebraska. And Penn State, it's been even longer, looking for their first Big Ten series win since April 5th through the 7th versus Northwestern, in which they swept the Wildcats. So must-win situations for both teams here. Bottom half of the 6th, then we get a look at Bryce Molinaro, right-handed sophomore, going against the lefty and Joe Mazza. Left-hander kicks and deals, and a worm burner sent out the short, bobbled there by Kuroda Grauer, and he can't handle it. In safely at first base is Molinaro, and that's how we get the bottom half of the 6th inning started.
Molinaro woke up today and ate his Wheaties, and he is showing it with the way he is hitting the ball. Obviously, that solo homer the last time he was up to play, and that just a absolute smoked ball. Too hot to handle for Kuroda Grauer, as you mentioned, Jake, and don't know. I think that's going to get scored. No, will get scored as an error, actually, on Kuroda Grauer. And that's not something you see with this Rutgers team very often. They lead the Big Ten in fielding percentage, 98.1%, 7th in the country. You don't expect to see numbers in the E column when you're playing against the Scarlet Knights. There's the first of the night, a big opportunity. But, I mean, again, you give a lot of credit to Molinaro for just absolutely putting the mustard on that thing and making it a tough ball for Kuroda Grauer, experienced shortstop of the field.
0-1 offered inside on Matt Maloney, evens the count at 1-1. Junior from Windham, New Hampshire, .298 average on the season, 1 home run and 32 RBIs. Maloney singled last time up and walked before that. Went 1 for 4 last game, 6 for 19 in his last 5 games with 2 RBIs. Left-hander Mazza set on the mound and throws to first instead, and gives a little check there on Molinaro, who has 5 stolen bases on the season, just making sure he doesn't get too comfortable over there. 1-1 even count on Maloney. Bottom of the 6th inning, 4-3 Rutgers lead. Mazza set at the belt. And throws another one over to first base, and back easily without getting dirty at all is Molinaro. So Maloney continues to wait patiently in that left-handed batter's box. Now Mazza starting to scrape dirt away from his cleat. Might be a while till we see another pitch here on Maloney.
It's kind of like when you get gum on your shoe.
Yeah,
you know, that's just
right.
You know,
it's kind of what it's equivalent
that type
to.
of annoying vibe. Actually, I don't think there are many times I've gotten gum in my shoe that I can think of in my life, which is impressive because I do chew a lot of gum.
So you would think would happen.
But I guess I just don't attract it the way that some people do.
Better luck where you're stepping. 2-1 count after
or
that
just,
one was
maybe I just
high.
tough it up and deal with it. I don't know.
Right. Maybe that too. I don't know. Never thought of that.
Not a great comparison to what these pitchers are having to go through, though, in a tough, Big Ten series.
Runner takes off for second base and safely with a stolen base. 6th on the season for Molinaro. That pitch was also outside. looked like, unless they said that was in there. Now they're going to say it was in there, so a 2-2 even count here in Maloney. But the Nittany Lions do get a runner in scoring position with no outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, trailing 4-3 to Rutgers.
Yeah, and Molinaro just took off for that. It was kind of, saw a little bit of a double pump there from Natilli that got him there.
Tapper sent over to the first baseman, flips it to the pitcher covering the bag, and doesn't get him in time. Infield single there for Matt Maloney. As Molinaro advances to third base, runners on the corners for the Nittany Lions. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They're trailing by 1, but a good opportunity to change that narrative.
How about Matt Maloney? He's now reaching all 3 of his plate appearances today with a walk that he drew his first time. Base hit to center field his last time, and now right there, as you talked about, just kind of into no man's land in the infield down that first base line. It slowly rolled. There were 3 Scarlet Knights players all around it, but neither could get to it, and Maloney turning on the jets and making sure that he was going to beat out the throw, and he does. So as you mentioned, Jake, runners on the corners, nobody out. Big spot for the senior Taven Kelly to try and do some damage here and give Penn State either a tie or maybe get them the lead back.
Left-handed pitcher versus right-handed batter, and Taven Kelly, first pitch he sees is up and away. Ball number 1, quick throw over to first base by the catcher, Natilli, to make sure that there's no funny business over there at first by Maloney. Only has 1 stolen base on the season, but you never know. In these kind of situations, late in the season, you need some wins in the conference. Of course, the Nittany Lions need at least 4 of 6 or 5 of 6 wins here in the late going to have a chance. The Big Ten tournament, top 8 teams make it, and right now they are 3 spots out from Maryland, who has that 8th spot, a game and a half behind the Terrapins. Nittany Lions 7 and 11 in conference play so far this season, and Rutgers are pretty much out of it. That pitch is going to run outside for a 1-1 even count here in Taven Kelly, so that's also what's at stake for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, and, seeing where Penn State's at, I mean, obviously, ideal situation, you get a sweep, you get to 10 and 11, and you've got a chance then to kind of control your own destiny, most likely with Maryland. Still need a little help from Ohio State to ensure that would happen, but obviously that's easier said than done, too, against a tough and scrappy Rutgers team like this one is, and I think they are a team. There's that old saying in sports: you are what your record says you are. I think this is a team that's better than what you'd expect your normal 4-14 team to be. Obviously, they've struggled. They've lost a lot of close games, but this is a team that is going to fight and compete with you. And when they're playing at their best, they've got a chance to beat just about anybody.
Fastball up high for ball number 2. 2-1 count here on Taven Kelly. Struck out in his first plate appearance and then walked after that. Runners in the corners, nobody out for the Nittany Lions. Bottom of the 6th inning, 4-3 Rutgers lead. Left-hander Mazza set on the mound, deals to the right-hander in Kelly. Kelly takes a big cut at that off-speed pitch, but can't connect. 2-2 even count on the super senior from Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania. Went 1 for 4 last game with 2 RBIs and a run. A wider look at how he's been doing lately. 4 for 21 coming into today in his last 5 games. 3 RBIs and 3 runs. Runners on the corners, nobody out. 2-2 count on Kelly. Left-hander deals to the right-handed batter, and that one's up high for ball number 3. Looked like a slider there off the hands of Mazza. So a full count here on Kelly. Some fans spotted in their seats. At the beginning of this game, there was nobody in their seats because of the wet conditions. Now that things have dried off a little bit, we see some fans spotted here and there, but most of them are under the concourse, still trying to stay as dry as possible. Throw over to first base, and back safely is Maloney. Still a 3-2 count here on Kelly. Mazza set. Somebody warming up in the bullpen for Rutgers. It's a right-hander. Can't tell from here who it is. Payoff pitch, swung at and missed for strike number 3. Kelly goes down swinging on strikes for the second time in this game, as that is Mazza's second strikeout on the mound. 1 away for the Nittany Lions. Runners on the corners, and now we'll go to the last hitter in the order in Kevin Michaels, who hasn't been hitting like the last batter in the order with his 2 knocks today, a single and an RBI double. grad student stepping up to the plate. Not until we have a mound visit here for Joe Mazza, and we'll see if this is the end of his night or not.
And trying to get a look at who that is in the bullpen. I think it's the senior Ben Gorski, if my vision is truly 2020, which I'm not sure it ever was to begin with. But that's who it looks to be warming up in the bullpen for Rutgers, so we'll see what the Scarlet Knights decide to do. Regardless, it seems like Mazza's time is probably starting to draw to a conclusion. We'll see if it ends up being here or not. In the meantime, Penn State going to discuss things over as well with their batting order. Kevin Michaels, I mean, you talked about it, the day he's had, it's been very, very impressive, and he's been a threat for this Penn State team. Not somebody maybe that Rutgers coming in was expecting to play as big of a role in the batting department, but with the big base hit that he had in, I believe it was the third inning, and then that RBI double earlier, you mentioned he's come through big when Penn State has needed him to the most to this point. See if he can make it 3 for 3 on the day, and in this situation, if he does make it 3 for 3, he's going to tie this ball game and bring Molinaro home.
Kevin Michaels, just his 59th at-bat all season long, steps into the right-handed batter's box with a .224 average, 1 home run, and 6 RBIs. Runners on the corners, 1 away. Nittany Lions trailing 4-3 against Rutgers here in the bottom of the 6th. They bunt down the first base line, too much on it, and rolls it foul behind the first base coach for the Nittany Lions. 0-1 count here to start off Kevin Michaels. As Joe Mazza stays out there for Rutgers, the left-handed pitcher. 2 innings of work so far for him. 1 hit and no runs, 2 strikeouts. Michaels is set. Left-hander deals to the right-hander, offers a bunt and pulls it back. So it was an elevated pitch that Michaels could see was clearly a ball. So a 1-1 even count on the grad student from Encinitas, California.
We've seen a little bit of Michaels. We've seen a little bit of Kyle Hanna at that second base spot and in the batting order for Penn State throughout the season. Michaels now recently has kind of taken that position over. And again, you know, in large part for what he can do playing second base, but we've seen now what he can do with the bat today. Just trying to keep his at-bat going here, and still with only 1 out here, a lot of options as you're just trying to find a way to get Molinaro home from third.
Molinaro reached base via an error by the shortstop. And then Matt Maloney reached on a single. Kelly struck out, and now that brings us to Michaels right now with a 1-2 count. 1 away, and those runners on the corners. 4-3 Rutgers lead, bottom of the 6th inning. Quick throw over to first, and back easily is Maloney. As Miles has really been checking runners a lot here this inning. He's been pretty paranoid by the runners on base for the Nittany Lions.
And you've said it, Maloney's only a guy that's 1 for 3 on stolen bases this season, and wouldn't even say he's got that large of a lead at first.
No, not at all.
2 or maybe 2, maybe 3 steps if you're really stretching it.
Big cut and miss. Strike number 3, back-to-back Ks for Mazza from the mound. He got Kelly, now he's got Michaels, and looking to get out of this jam and try to leave the Nittany Lions empty-handed here in the 6th inning. With 2 away, we flip the lineup card and go to the top of the order with the first baseman, Joe Jakonski, who's 0 for 2 so far up to this point with a strikeout and a flyout. Looking for better luck here in his 3rd plate appearance. Left-handed batter against the left-handed pitcher. First pitch to Jakonski. Watches this one right down the heart of the plate. Off-speed pitch for strike number 1. Outfield playing in medium depth. Shortstop and second baseman playing shallow outfield. Big cut at that one and missed for strike number 2. Little to no wind here at Medler Field. That U.S. flag out in left center field just moving lightly, but nothing in terms of wind. A little chilly here in the mid-portion of May. 0-2 on Jakonski. Swung at and missed for strike number 3. Clutch by Joe Mazza. After the Nittany Lions put runners on the corners with nobody out, Mazza comes out with 3 consecutive strikeouts and leaves the Nittany Lions empty-handed here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll go to 7th after the break. Rutgers lead it 4-3. Back with more Big Ten college baseball action after the break on Calm Radio.